Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special edition of the JV Sports Show. It's going to be a 2019 recap of the football season. We're pleased to be joined this evening by Cory Thorpe and John Cooper from NAIA Football out in Florida. How are you guys doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How about y'all?
Hey, we're doing great. We appreciate you coming on here with us. And we're also joined by Joey McWilliams from MidwestSports.com. Is that correct on the website there, Joey?
MidwestSports.net. That's okay.
MidwestSports.net. I was close.
You were very close.
I was
You're
close.
driving traffic away from his website, James. What are you doing? He's losing subscribers as we speak.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
no cool. MidwestSports.net. It says it right there on the banner. I should read that, Vince, huh?
Yeah,
And also my co-host chiming in there, Vince Delicio.
that's right. I was, here I am, second fiddle, but no, it's great to be here. Special edition recap. We brought in the experts for this thing because Lord knows that James and I don't know a whole heck of a lot, but we brought the guys in that do know a lot, and it should be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So let's get started right away. Let's get started with you guys from NAIA Football. First, tell us about your website and what you guys have been up to, and just give us a little quick recap of the championship game visit that you guys had to Ruston, Louisiana.
Cory, I'll let you go ahead and take that, brother.
Man, we had a blast going over to Ruston and Grambling. They're basically twin cities there. Monroe isn't that far off from either of them. Went out to cover the NAIA National Championship game. Had a blast. Ate at walk-ons. Had some Cajun food. It was a great game. Way better than I thought it was going to be at halftime. But it ended up being an instant classic.
Guys, like Cory just said, we just had a great time. I ate gumbo every night there. You thought, southern Louisiana, we were in North Louisiana. Beautiful area, great college town there. The people of Grambling were very hospitable. And believe it or not, they were absolutely ecstatic to have NAIA there. I know one of the officials from NAIA just was above the roof. Cory told me about, because their Twitter account, Grambling's Twitter account, was tweeting about NAIA football all day. That an NCAA school would be tweeting about the NAIA National Championship. And so, it was a great time. Like Cory said, we absolutely thought by halftime that Morningside was absolutely going to roll Marion. Marion brought it back in together in the second half. There was a lot of adversity on their sideline. They couldn't really keep up with that tempo of Morningside, but, it was an instant classic game.
Fans, I want to know about the fans, Cory and John. Tell us about, first of all, where you guys were staying. Were there a lot of fans around you? Was there a lot of rivalry stuff going on? And then when you got to the game itself, sold out, what would you say the number of people in the stadium were?
So I'll take this one, Cory. The attendance was way off compared to the years in Daytona. In Daytona, they had about 7,500 in attendance, and then in Grambling they had under 2,000.
Wow.
And the Grambling Stadium is way larger in allotment compared to Daytona, where Bethune-Cookman plays. I'm glad the camera angle probably didn't capture the crowd too much. It really felt like just probably a Louisiana varsity Friday night out there. But I will say both fan bases were definitely passionate. Grambling is a hard place to get to. It is out in the middle of nowhere. I would say Daytona is way more convenient. But if you guys didn't know, it cost $30,000 to put on this national championship game. And, Grambling was there to foot the bill, and they were a class act doing so. And the fans were definitely very passionate. It was great being on the field with Morningside at the end of the game. The NAIA did a great job of having selected hotels to partner with them. Me and Cory stayed at the hotel at the Sleep Inn with the Marion band and cheerleaders, and Morningside cheerleaders were there for some reason. And then the Best Western Plus hosted Morningside fans. I can't remember where the team stayed at, but it was a great atmosphere. You saw fans all around Ruston.
They were there for you guys. Come on now. Stop.
That's right. We actually got a lot of talk, though. I'm surprised people knew who we were. But great time.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys had a great time, and we got some great covers from you guys as well during that national championship game, so that was very enjoyable. We'll bring in Joey McWilliams now again from MidwestSports.net. Joey, how have your holidays been? And you obviously got to see some of that great championship action as well, I'm sure.
Well, and you know, first off, the holidays have been great. I praise the Lord. I've had a good time with my family, and everybody's healthy and well. So that's always something good to talk about. And a shout out really quickly to what John and Cory are doing. I mean, their site has just grown and grown, and the followers are there. And, you know, you are getting a lot of traffic and a lot of people talking about what you all are doing. So that's just pretty cool. It's nice to get to know you guys. Y'all are stars. So, hey, I'm happy to get to Sab. I've been able to make friends with you all this year. I actually, that same day, and I was giving a shout out to you guys, I was at the NCAA Division II championship that day with my YouTube show. And so I had Midwest Sports Saturday down in McKinney, Texas. But the good thing about that is that game, which, by the way, was a pretty good game as well, West Florida 48 over Minnesota State Mankato 40, and had to hold on for a win. I got to, watch an entire football game with my son, a national championship game. It's an hour from my house. I'm just north of the Red River into Oklahoma. So I got home, and lo and behold, there's more football. So another classic to get to watch, and what a fantastic run again for Morningside, 29 consecutive wins. Now, I know we'll talk about it more, but my goodness, I mean, December 21st was just a fun day, I think, all the way around. And great coverage, by the way, NAIAFball, guys.
Appreciate it.
Outstanding coverage from you guys. Great job down there, and we look forward to just expanding on that again next season, and we know you guys are looking forward to it as well. What we'll do here is step aside and take a short break, come right back here on the JV Sports Show. It's a special edition 2019 wrap-up show. We're going to wrap up the football season and look ahead to spring ball and then obviously next fall as well. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back here on the JV Sports Show.
At Great American Title, your peace of mind is our highest priority. A real estate transaction can be a complicated and overwhelming process. Let us simplify it for you. With our comprehensive list of escrow and title services, we can facilitate any transaction. With branches across the valley and more on the way, Great American Title is big enough to know and small enough to care. Contact Tricia Shipley at 623-760-5866 or visit their website at azgat.com. Great American Title, proud partners of the JV Sports Show.
Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. Angel Dentistry is where my wife and I have gone for the past 10 years and can't think of going anywhere else. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and practiced in the Valley nearly 20 years. Dr. Angel and her staff strive to provide excellent customer service from the moment you call the office to the time you leave with a smile. From general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008 and ask about the JV Sports Special, a free to-go whitened tray. With or without insurance, she will work with you. Off Cave Creek Road, north of the 101 in Phoenix, Angel Dentistry, trusted partner of the JV Sports Show. Anna and Keith started Stessa Movement Company 2 years ago with their customers' clothing styles in mind. They designed for you. Their goal is to clothe the world. It's high-end clothing at affordable prices. Check out and follow this cool streetwear clothing company on Twitter at Stessa Movement and Instagram at Stessa Co. I wear Stessa gear in our broadcasts. It looks and feels great. Sponsoring the Stessa JV Sports Show Player of the Week Award and proud partners of the JV Sports Show. Stessa Movement Company. Stessa spelled S-T-E-S-A for style. Sal's is synonymous with the best New York-style pizza hands down in the East Valley. My favorites are the lasagna pizza and grandma pizza topped with meatballs and olives. With family dinner specials every day of the year and lunch specials till 3, you can't go wrong with anything that Sal and his friendly staff serves you. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, located on the southwest corner of Gilbert Road and Warner in Gilbert. Open from 10:30 till 9 Sunday through Thursday and 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Closed Monday. GilbertPizzaAZ.com. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, proud partner of the JV Sports Show. Long Realty is the go-to for all your real estate needs. Local buyer looking in the West Valley? Call our trusted partners at Long. Out-of-state friends looking for a home in the beautiful Valley of the Sun? Call Long. Selling? Call Long, and they'll make your home long gone. Call 623-584-5384 and mention the JV Sports Show to get a free market analysis. Long Realty, located in beautiful Surprise, Arizona on Grand Avenue.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show, special edition, year-end edition, recapping the 2019 NAIA football season. We came up with some questions for our panel of experts here, and I think what I'd like to do, James, is kick it off, and I'd like to start with just going around the horn here, starting with Cory. Cory, the first question is, what was your biggest surprise or disappointment this season, or both?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, the biggest surprise was seeing Kaiser um, really catapulting this year from being a good team in their inaugural season to being a great team in their second season and making playoffs in that second season. For me, my biggest disappointment um, takes place a little bit outside the lines, and that's Cincinnati Christian. Anytime that you see a school cutting football, and in the case of Cincinnati Christian, shutting down operations completely, you really feel for those athletes as coaches that have to go through that and find a new home somewhere. So that's really my biggest disappointment is Cincinnati Christian.
John, how about you? Surprise and disappointment.
Before I get to that, yeah, the Cincinnati Christian story was absolutely heartbreaking. That deserves his only 30 for 30. Excuse me. Just a heartbreaking what those kids had to go through daily the past couple of years. Absolutely crazy. I would say the biggest disappointment, and this is going to sound crazy for a team that was 9-1, but I'm going to say the Northwestern Red Raiders. This was supposed to be their year. This is, if any team was supposed to strike down Morningside's winning streak, the domination of 9 straight GPAC titles, it was supposed to be Northwestern this year. They were senior heavy. They had their guys back. Morningside, which
what do you think happened? What happened?
I just think the culture of Morningside's program is just probably the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, Vince, it's unbelievable. Our pinned tweet, it just shows the accomplishment of just 29 straight victories, 9 straight GPAC titles. And Northwestern is, a great ball club. But then when I was really disappointed with Vince is they lose to Morningside. They kept stride for stride that game. They could have knocked them off. And this year in 2019, it shows Morningside's not as invisible as they have been. So 2020 is going to be interesting. But I was very disappointed in the playoffs that they couldn't get back to that rematch with Morningside.
Joey, what do you think? Biggest surprise, biggest disappointment?
I think my biggest surprise was the game that you watched, and you're probably just as surprised as I was that Lyon defeated OUAZ. That was a big surprise. And, and if that's painful, I'm sorry about that, Vince. I really am. I was surprised by that. Not only the fact that Lyon was able to win the game, and I realized this was a Lyon team that was prepared, came in ready to play, but shut down that OUAZ offense after the first quarter. I mean, there's just nothing more. And so, that was a bit of a surprise to me. And I think I was as much. I don't know if it was if it was a disappointment or I may have to rephrase the question here. I was disappointed for. How's that sound? Disappointed for Benedictine and Evangel, both that just teams that were so close to making the playoffs. And of course, if you do make the playoffs, anything can happen. But neither one of them made it. And when it came to Benedictine with the Ravens, I mean, you have Stewart, you have Nyhart, you have 2 players that came in, 2 seniors that came in as 1,000-yard rushers the year before. They're just tearing it up over the course of the season. And then at the midpoint, both of them go down with injuries right about the same time. I mean, Stewart had 8 games total for the season. Nyhart finished and rushed really well in the season finale, but it was done by then. So 8-3, you don't get in. And the Crusaders, same thing, 8-1 coming in, finish out senior day really well, go up to Fayette, Missouri, take on Central Methodist. The wheels come off in all directions, and they could not put it back together in what proved to be a playoff game with Baker in the season finale on the road there in Baldwin. And they lose out in that game. Again, another team, 8-3, that just didn't make it. And I was disappointed for both of those teams, for Benedictine especially, because, it's like what John said about Northwestern. I agree. It looked like it could be the Red Raiders' year. This looked like it could be the Ravens' year. And I think that was a disappointment.
Well, great points made by all you guys. We appreciate that. We'll move on to the next question here. In your opinion, and we'll go back to John and Cory really quick from NAIAFball. You can follow those guys on Twitter at NAIAFball. What coaches would you say exceeded expectations this season?
Well, I'll start first. Cory done mentioned Coach Sosha at Kaiser. He came, great rare breed over there. He was at a great high school called American Heritage, led a great program, then comes over here. They have the mantra Seahawk fast. Their offense moves at a fast pace, and it really hurt a lot of Mid-South Sun Division teams. And then they showed they could compete. They beat Cumberland's and gave their second-round opponent a run. But I'm going to go with Coach Oliver, another Mid-South guy, and Lindsey Wilson. Here's why I say that, guys. He has been the father of that program since 2010, and he's closing up the decade. But this was the first time he's made it to the semifinals, and he's been to the NAIA playoffs 6 times now. And for him to just reach that pinnacle, and they were this close from reaching the championship game, that was almost Lindsey Wilson on the sideline, not Marion. And, I was very impressed with his team, and especially just, they kind of earned the Mid-South a little bit of respect there, because many thought Marion was just going mud hole. And, very, very impressed with Coach Oliver.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Coach Jordan Langs at Indiana Wesleyan in his second season in what is a really, really tough Mid-States, Mid-East division. They were sitting there keeping up stride for stride with Marion and with Concordia, with St. Francis. They gave everybody in that division a run for their money, and I can't wait to see what that team does in season 3.
How about you, Joey McWilliams? What do you think about coaches that may have exceeded expectations this past season?
Well, if you're thinking about coaches that had good teams coming in, I'm going to go ahead and stay with that theme. And there are two coaches that come to mind, both first-year coaches at the program. Not the first time that they've been at their respective programs, but the first time to be the head coach. And I'm going to say Myers Hendrickson at Kansas Wesleyan. He comes into a good situation, but still you just don't know what's going to happen over the course of a year. And again, we saw that with Benedictine, that running backs go down. Kansas Wesleyan has Shaq Bradford, who is just a sack machine. We saw Johnny Foto as a quarterback come alive. We saw DeMarco Pruitt continue to run the ball well, but I was really I was enthused by what Hendrickson did and went undefeated, ran the table through the KCAC, which some people, will downplay that conference, but still to win all those games in a row and make it in the playoffs and win the first round game against an in-state Hart opponent, I thought that was a big deal, and I think that exceeded expectations from some standpoints. And then the other side is Joe Woodley in Grandview. He has been a part of the program since its inception, but it was his first year to be the lead man. And what are the expectations there? Well, they're in the top 15 in the NAIA preseason poll, but they make it to the Final Four, 13-1. I mean, the man's won, all he's done in his opening season is win 13 consecutive games before you run into Morningside, and then held Morningside to just 21 points. So I would say both of those may have exceeded the expectations of what you might think a first-year coach could do.
We're visiting here with Joey McWilliams from MidwestSports.net, as well as Cory Thorpe and John Cooper from NAIAFball. We'll come right back here on the JV Sports Show after a short commercial break, and we'll talk about the popularity of small ball, if you will, and how it's on the rise here, not only on the West Coast, but all over the country. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back on the JV Sports Show.
Hey, all you business owners. Vince here from the JV Sports Show. Are you a fan of junior college and small college sports? Want to reach an established and growing sports radio listening audience both locally and abroad? Partner up with the JV Sports Show. We can help promote your business while you help support exclusive coverage of junior college, NAIA, NC2A Division II and III sports. Check us out at www.jvsportshow.com and let us show you the benefits of partnering up with James and I on the JV Sports Show.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show year-end edition, recapping the NAIA football season here for 2019, joined by a panel of experts, Cory Thorpe, John Cooper from NAIAFball, Joey McWilliams from MidwestSports.net. Guys, next question. So how do you feel that what they refer to as small ball has gained popularity, notoriety this season, or if at all? And when I say that, I mean, NAIA versus the traditional, when you think of, big time football, you think of NCAA Division I, all the major conferences. Do you feel that the NAIA nationally has gained traction this year, if at all? Starting with you, Cory, go ahead.
I do. Not as much as it could have, but there are a couple of things that happened this year that really, really worked in the NAIA's favor. One of those was Brent Dearman going to Kansas and getting promoted midseason to offensive coordinator, and all of a sudden, all these people from the state of Kansas are going, "Who is this dude?" They're looking him up and they're going, "Oh, he was an NAIA coach." Again, just one of those things just happened to be. The second one is an award called the Piesman. That's Piesman with a P. And that is an award given out by SB Nation to the most outstanding lineman. And this year it went to Andrew Rupchich from Culver Stockton, who threw a beautiful touchdown pass in a game this season. If you haven't seen it, it's gorgeous. But winning that award and being plastered all over Twitter, that's great publicity for the NAIA.
Guys, to just talk about the NAIA ourselves, NCAA does a great job of marketing FCS D2, D3. Personally, I have differences with how the front office people in Kansas City might do things. I think they could do it a lot differently. Just having somebody that has background knowledge of the league, of the sport, what might make it popular. But the one thing I want to bring up, guys, is, we saw a picture on Twitter. It went viral of Louisiana State's offensive line. It looked like the wall of Louisiana. These guys were huge. Yes, correct, James. So, as a high school coach in the state of Florida, I want to send that out to every high school parent to show that your 6'1", 210-pound kid that plays offensive line is not a prospect. But that 6'1", 210-pound kid, has a home somewhere and could have more fun in the recruiting process. And there's more of those kids than there are the 6'6", 325-pound kids. So, honestly, guys, I wish that the NAIA would market itself, small college would market itself better in general. The coaches do a great job of recruiting. I wish the biggest audience is high school football. And we've seen it. You guys see it in Phoenix. That's a cash cow for a lot of these media guys. And, if only the high school kids could just be more aware, and I think our presence and your presence and Joey's presence is showing that these high school kids that, hey, there is another league out there. There is a place for me to play. And not only is there a place for me to play, it's a place to be daggum competitive.
Well, when you say a place to play, John, I mean, if you think about it, personally, if it was me, I would want to play. I would want to go to a place where I can play, not have to ride the bench the entire time and carry a clipboard around. I mean, obviously, you're going to have to do that sometimes, especially in a role like a quarterback if you're coming in as a freshman and so forth. But why not go somewhere where you can play?
Correct. And, the thing is, James, if you walk on at a Division I school, you might be that 6'2", 220-pound lineman. They're not going to put you at lineman. You're going to be holding a dummy, maybe being a defensive back one day, being a safety one day, being a linebacker, and just to see that how our follower counts went up from 15,000. Yes, a lot of those are from NAIA players, NAIA schools, but a lot of them are from high school kids that DM us for advice all the time. And we're going to have a segment next week talk about how to get recruited, how to market yourself. So just the popularity, I could care less about what the fans think. Honestly, I love that it's attracting fans from outside. People at the schools are doing great at rallying around their schools, 1 to 2,000 student allotment. But these high school kids, as long as they see it, that is what I care about.
Joey, what about you? How do you feel that and I know that you're in a hotbed of small schools in where you're at, but from what you see, the landscape, even nationally, have you seen it grow in the last year?
Yes, I have. I would agree with both the gentlemen who spoke before me that there is room for improvement, but I have seen it grow. And I think the biggest reason, at least from this vantage, is because of all of you. I mean, because of what you all are doing in your respective backyards. I've listened to your programs. I've watched your programs. I've seen what you all are doing and getting out. And because we have the opportunities now, I mean, we're not locked down to just 3 channels anymore. We're not locked down to the 3 major networks or 4 major networks, depending upon how old you are. And I think I just told how old I was by saying that. However, we have the opportunity to get out and to reach them. And what John and Cory are doing on Twitter and then on YouTube, what you guys are doing there on YouTube, on the radio, not only with your NAI coverage, but with your junior college coverage as well, and that it's quality coverage. It's enjoyable to listen to. It's not something that I turn on for a little bit and I go, oh my goodness, that's terrible. Give me Division I. No, that's not the case at all. I mean, you're providing quality coverage, and it's something that people can listen to and then can come back to and go, I want to hear a little bit more of that. I want to see a little bit more of that. And because of that, and I hope to do the same thing, provide quality coverage. Because of that access is there for these high school kids like John's talking about to see this, and parents to see this and say, hey, listen, you may want to go there too. This could be an option. This could be an opportunity for you scholarship-wise as well. And as a parent who has put at least one through college already, and there's some others saying, hey, Dad, I want to go. Well, that scholarship's important. And if you can get it at this school and it makes a difference, then go for it. So I would attribute a lot of the success to guys like you.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear that, James?
It's very thank you.
Thank you guys. And thank you, Joey. Appreciate
you guys
that.
too. I mean, we're all on the same. We're all rowing the same boat here. So
yeah. We'll come back after the break. We want to wrap things up with one final question after we come back. We'll talk about the leagues nationally, maybe some teams, and how things may shake out for 2020. So we'll come right back here on the JV Sports Show year-end edition right after the break.
Sal's is synonymous with the best New York-style pizza hands down in the East Valley. My favorites are the lasagna pizza and grandma pizza topped with meatballs and olives. With family dinner specials every day of the year and lunch specials till 3, you can't go wrong with anything that Sal and his friendly staff serves you. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, located on the southwest corner of Gilbert Road and Warner in Gilbert. Open from 10:30 till 9 Sunday through Thursday and 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Closed Monday. GilbertPizzaAZ.com. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, proud partner of the JV Sports Show.
At Great American Title, your peace of mind is our highest priority. A real estate transaction can be a complicated and overwhelming process. Let us simplify it for you. With our comprehensive list of escrow and title services, we can facilitate any transaction. With branches across the valley and more on the way, Great American Title is big enough to know and small enough to care. Contact Tricia Shipley at 623-760-5866 or visit their website at azgat.com. Great American Title, proud partners of the JV Sports Show.
Anna and Keith started Stessa Movement Company 2 years ago with their customers' clothing styles in mind. They designed for you. Their goal is to clothe the world. It's high-end clothing at affordable prices. Check out and follow this cool streetwear clothing company on Twitter at Stessa Movement and Instagram at Stessa Co. I wear Stessa gear in our broadcasts. It looks and feels great. Sponsoring the Stessa JV Sports Show Player of the Week Award and proud partners of the JV Sports Show. Stessa Movement Company. Stessa spelled S-T-E-S-A for style. Long Realty is the go-to for all your real estate needs. Local buyer looking in the West Valley? Call our trusted partners at Long. Out-of-state friends looking for a home in the beautiful Valley of the Sun? Call Long. Selling? Call Long, and they'll make your home long gone. Call 623-584-5384 and mention the JV Sports Show to get a free market analysis. Long Realty, located in beautiful Surprise, Arizona on Grand Avenue. Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. Angel Dentistry is where my wife and I have gone for the past 10 years and can't think of going anywhere else. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and practiced in the Valley nearly 20 years. Dr. Angel and her staff strive to provide excellent customer service from the moment you call the office to the time you leave with a smile. From general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008 and ask about the JV Sports Special, a free to-go whiten tray. With or without insurance, insurance, she will work with you. Off Cave Creek Road, north of the 101 in Phoenix, Angel Dentistry, trusted partner of the JV Sports Show.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show special edition here, talking about the year-end wrap-up of the football season. We're just about 2 days before the new year strikes, 2020. And we'll start with Joey McWilliams. We have another question for all you guys. What do you think are going to be some of the dominant teams and or maybe the dominant conferences coming up next year and looking forward to 2020?
Well, I don't think there's any way that you can not say that Morningside would be back. Okay, so let's just start right there. And I think Cory disagreed with me at the start of this year because I was saying you're number one until you're not number one. And I think that you have to go into next year saying, my goodness, this is a team that's won 29 consecutive games. It will likely bring back its starting quarterback. It will likely bring back its starting running back. It will likely bring back at least one, if not two, of its leading receivers. I think you have to say that Morningside goes into the next year as a preseason favorite. Now, there are going to be some gaps on defense. There are, I mean, you're losing the twins in linebackers. You're losing a couple of good players in the secondary, all seniors there. And so, yeah, there are some holes that will need to be filled. But I think you have to look at Morningside as being the top team coming back. And until somebody beats them, you know, that you have to say that they're still number one. Sorry, Cory, I just feel that way. Now, that having been said, the dominant conference, is there any team or conference that is better than the Mid-States? You've got 5 teams in the top 25 postseason poll. You've got another team receiving votes. Marion making it all the way to the championship game. Perennial powers in St. Francis. So I think that probably is the dominant conference again going into the next season. There will be some losses, attrition to graduation, but that's just part of it. They're reloading.
A piggyback question there, Joey, if you will. Who do you think would provide the biggest challenge to Morningside next season?
Wow. It all depends on how things shake out for Northwestern. Really, and that's within the GPAC itself. I'm interested to see how Grandview returns because with what Coach Woodley did and they bought into him and his leadership. Again, this is a team that just seemed to thrive and get better as the season went on. I'd be interested to see how Grandview does.
How about Cory Thorpe? Let's talk to you for a minute. What do you think as far as dominant teams next year or teams that may challenge a Morningside or Marion for one of those top spots?
Joey, I think you read my notes that I had written down. I had Mid-States and Morningside as my talking point. So you got me there. As far as teams that could possibly challenge Morningside, I'm really liking what Thorpe is bringing back. They're bringing back a lot of players off of a team who was sneaky good this last year. Didn't get off to a good start. Lost to what happened to be a really good Kaiser team. But I think Thorpe's got a chance to do some really good things in the GPAC next year. But again, if you're Morningside, at this point, you've sort of proven your point. Two championships in a row, 2 undefeated seasons in a row. You get respect until you find a way to not win. And I think you're right on the Mid-States Midi, especially the Middies. The Midwest is a little less strong. You basically got St. Xavier, Olivet Nazarene in the field. But I really think that Siena Heights is going to take a step forward in 2020. And I think you'll see maybe like a St. Francis maybe take a half step back. As weird as that sounds, a couple of years ago, they were back-to-back national champions, just like we're talking about Morningside. But I like a lot of what Siena Heights is bringing back on both sides of the ball.
We're visiting here with Joey McWilliams from MidwestSports.net, Cory Thorpe, and John Cooper from NAIAFball. John, let's talk to you for a moment. Who do you think, as far as dominant teams or maybe dominant conferences or challengers coming up for fall of 2020?
I'm going to piggyback off the guys. With Morningside, you turn Joe Dolanchek, who's going to be a junior next year, Arnaje Ponder his senior year, who's done almost everything you could ask a running back to do. The name that doesn't get talked about is Juergensmeyer, the receiver out there. He makes his quarterbacks look good, whether it was Trent Solzman in 2017-18 or Dolencheck this year. But here's what I'll say about Morningside, and you guys are going to think it's funny. 2018 Morningside would have blown out 2019 Morningside. I felt like just observing from just in person that they were a lot smaller on the offensive line than they have been. I'm eager to see. I think they run the GPAC again, 10-0. The question is, I think it'll be until the semis or natty, till somebody challenges them. We talk about Grandview and Joe Woodley. Grandview by far had the best front seven this year. Absolutely nasty. Now they have to replace some guys, but I think Grandview is going to be up there. Marion has to, they have to replace their NAI Offense Player of the Year with salary, and Ethan Darter's gone. I think they're going to take a step back. So I enjoyed what Cory just said about Siena Heights maybe taking a step. Because right now I think St. Francis and Marion are maybe a little bit vulnerable in 2020, but Siena Heights looks very good. If you guys didn't know, Cory has a Google Keep for us that tracks the all-conference selection. So we have a little formula of how we're going to pick our preseason. So we're looking forward to that. I think just the name, I think the name you guys need to watch out for, and it's going to come soon. And when they figure out their offensive line, defensive line recruiting, because they have the skill guys to do it, is the boys from West Palm Beach and Kaiser. I think they have potential to make a run maybe to the semis. The hardest thing about a Mid-South team, and the great thing about them, is if they have another undefeated season, they're so isolated in that part of Florida that's going to be hard to get matched up with a Morningside or somebody until the national championship or semifinals. So they're protected by geographic location. But just what they have going on there, I'm a big Eli Matthews fan, the quarterback, and Sage Chin Young. He was an absolutely explosive defensive back. He took a, what was it, Cory, 100-yard, maybe 109-yard field goal return back, kind of like Alabama-Auburn. So, I think the team to watch out for in the Mid-South is not only Lindsey Wilson, but Kaiser. Whoever wins out of those two, which they don't play next season, but they will get matched up in the playoffs. But whoever wins out of those two in that geographic spot, I think reaches the championship next year.
So throw us a bone, John. Who's the best team west of the Rockies? James and I want to take a road trip, and we don't want to go too far. We can't go to West Palm Beach if we're driving on an off week for us. So best team west of the Rockies.
Here's what's going to surprise you. I think, your hometown team over there, the Spirit, okay. I think they absolutely clean up the Sooner Athletic Conference. I think Langston's going to be another challenge for them, but I don't think they have the interior guys. Now, what was interesting with Lyon is they mixed up and gave a great pass rush and really gave them fits all night. And, we all saw that. But I think they clean up the Sooner Athletic Conference for the second straight year. I think the surprise team and the Frontier's different. It feels like it's different each year. But I'm going to tell you, Southern Oregon is quietly putting their resources together over there. And, if you ever seen video and pictures of their facilities, pretty cool place. But, they're not a stranger from the national stage either as a program over there. They embarrassed Sacramento State not long ago and were competitive with them this year. I think Southern Oregon is going to be a big surprise over there out west next year.
We're talking with Joey McWilliams from MidwestSports.net, John Cooper and Cory Thorpe from NAIAFball. These guys are all over the place. They're covering nationwide NAIA football. We'll step aside, take a short break here on the JV Sports Show Special Edition. It's the 2019 wrap-up show, and we'll come back and wrap up this show right after this.
Hey, all you business owners. Vince here from the JV Sports Show. Are you a fan of junior college and small college sports? Want to reach an established and growing sports radio listening audience both locally and abroad? Partner up with the JV Sports Show. We can help promote your business while you help support exclusive coverage of junior college, NAIA, NC2A Division II and III sports. Check us out at www.jvsportshow.com and let us show you the benefits of partnering up with James and I on the JV Sports Show.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show 2019 wrap-up edition. Guys, I want to ask Cory and John from NAIAFball. Tell us a little bit about your contact information, some things that you have coming up. You talked about a little recruiting segment that you're going to be doing. Go ahead, guys. Floor is yours.
Well, guys, with early National Signing Day over and then the real signing day coming in February, the NAIA recruiting process starts now in January, where they're going to be hitting the road hard. A lot of big cities do recruiting fairs for these NAIA programs to meet up. And, they basically have a booth where they get these high school prospects in. They get to see who they like, whatever. And, the recruiting process starts now. We're eager to get the information that these kids need. It's funny, you get those kids that say, I've been slept on, but they haven't taken the ACT, and, we're 3-4 months away from graduating. But you can find us at NAIAFball, wherever. Just type that in, literally those letters, into any social media search, and you're going to find us. We are part of the Fifth Quarter Network, which, we're both part of. And that pays the bills for us. It's our major college football coverage. But our website can be nai.fifthquarter.net. And, Cory, I'll let you, if you got anything else you want to put on there, man, go ahead.
Yeah, so in the off season, we go from doing a live show to doing more of a podcast. And we are lining up head coaches to talk to. We've already spoken with Auto of Arizona's head coach, getting him on the air, talk to Coach Socha, getting him going, but just talking with them and developing relationships among the head coaches there, and giving those that listen just kind of an idea of what's going on in the world of the NAIA, even in the off season. So that's what's going on in our neck of the woods.
How about you, Joey? Your contact information and what you got cooking?
Well, guys, I'm ready to roll into another season as the calendar turns. And so we do a little bit more than just football here on MidwestSports.net. And you can find me, Joey, at OklahomaSports.net. That was the original website, was OklahomaSports.net. And my coverage has expanded to Arkansas and Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa as well. And, who knows, it may expand further. In the meantime, 6 states is plenty. For me, I'll let Cory and John take the whole country right now. They've got 2 of them. That's all right. But the other thing I want to mention, though, is the YouTube channel. And I would appreciate it. I encourage people to subscribe. That's one of those things that right now we're growing our YouTube channel. Our flagship show is Midwest Sports Saturday. And we get to go to different locations, small colleges throughout the Midwest, in Division II and NAI. And we have a big show coming up January 25th. Going to be in Oklahoma City, as the Oklahoma City Stars are going to host the Mid-America Christian Evangels in a huge doubleheader. Midwest Sports Saturday will be there. And what the show really is, Vince, is I like to think of it as a college game day for small college, in getting there and getting on site, talking to the coaches, talking to athletes, beyond just the scope of football. But of course, in the fall, we're out there sitting on the sideline and having fun and setting up, and you get to see the players warming up behind. And then after that, hey, I get to sit and watch a football game. So that's fun. I don't infringe on the broadcasting rights of the folks who are calling those games, but being there in advance, and that's what not College Game Day, what Midwest Sports Saturday is all about. It is a college game day type show. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you search Midwest Sportsnet, you'll find that MW. I like to think maybe that's for McWilliams. I don't know. It's for Midwest. So if you hit that MW, you found me, and please subscribe and check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. James.
Well, what a great show, Vince. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy holiday schedules and time away from your families. But it was a great fun to wrap up the 2019 season and look ahead to next season. Thanks again to Joey McWilliams from MidwestSports.net, Cory Thorpe, and John Cooper from NAIAFball. My name is James Poovey, my partner Vince Delicio. It was a great edition of the JV Sports Show. Once again, get on the YouTube channel, subscribe, go on to MidwestSports.net, get on that YouTube channel as well. Midwest Sports Saturday is the name of the show. Until next time, take care. Have a great rest of the holiday season, everyone, and we'll check in with you again in the spring.